Just arrived here at the Wakapuaka Cemetery to visit the Memorial Chapel again. Now, we did try come earlier in the week, but the chapel was locked up. And then one of my friends actually told me that we do have access to it. We can get the keys from the parish chapel, so that is what we've gone and done. Now, the first time I actually heard about Fr Garin was about 2 years ago. We did a New Year's trip up here to Nelson, and I remember someone mentioning about this priest that was supposedly incorrupt and buried in Nelson, but we never looked into it, so I'm really glad we've got the opportunity here to shed some light on this insane site, insane priest, and most likely a saint as well.
Not with flesh and blood are we contending, but with powers beyond our sight.
Born in Lyon, France, 1810, Fr Antoine Garin was a member of the Society of Mary, the Marists, a Catholic religious congregation of priests and brothers founded in France, 1816. Their charism was to live and serve in the spirit of Mary, humbly, quietly, and with compassion. The Marists were founded for missionary work, education, and parish ministry. They often took on hard and humble tasks, going where no one else would. In 1838, Bishop Pompallier was appointed Vicar Apostolic of Western Oceania and arrived in New Zealand that same year. In 1844, at the request of Bishop Pompallier, who needed more priests to serve the growing Māori and European population, Fr Garin landed. He was first stationed in Northland, working with Māori communities and settlers, and then he was assigned here to Nelson, where he ministered from 1850 until his death in 1889. Fr Garin was known for his holiness, his self-sacrifice, and his tireless pastoral work, a deep love of the church. Now, as a parish priest here in Nelson, the first one, he did a lot of things to help found the Catholic community here. So not only did he actually build the very first Catholic church here, but he also founded a Catholic school. And a lot of his efforts went towards getting funding for Catholic education in a time and place where it was mostly Protestant and secular institutions that would actually receive funding for that. Fr Garin died in 1889, and he was buried in this cemetery here, which, as you can see, is quite waterlogged and muddy. Now, what happened at the time was that both Catholics and non-Catholics did fundraising to help build this memorial chapel, which we're standing in front of, I guess as a memorial to Fr Garin for all of the work that he did for the parish here. When they dug up his body 2 years later to help move it underneath the chapel, they opened it up, obviously expecting an absolute mess given the conditions of the cemetery. Waterlogged conditions are usually the quickest to decay a body. It was completely incorrupt. The only thing that had changed was that the color of his white vestments had dyed slightly pink because of the water, but he still had his cassock on and the beretta, and his body was completely intact. Fr Garin's body is now found in the crypt underneath this chapel, buried alongside the other two parish priests who served after him. So in the Catholic tradition, incorruptibility is considered a sign of holiness, a physical witness to an extraordinary life of grace. While normal human bodies usually deteriorate after death, when a saint is seen to have an incorrupt body, it's almost like a residual of an insane level of grace, to where the body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, and this body, which is now obviously dead and buried in the earth, was so full of grace that it's preserved from the normal decay, from normal, I guess, effects of death. And that's almost God signaling and showing us in a way that this here was truly a saint, or a man and woman of God. So at that moment he was exhumed, it was signed by 10 witnesses that when they revealed that top part of his body, they saw that it was incorrupt. But it seems that it was kept quiet to try and avoid too much of a cult following or something like that, heaven forbid, arising around Fr Garin. But who knows, maybe that's just been waiting to happen. It is still kind of amazing to me that we have this incredible priest, most likely a saint, buried underneath our very noses here in humble little Nelson. Fr Garin's holiness and grind set definitely deserves to be better known, not only just for our own inspiration as the faithful, but also to bear testimony to the world to the fact that you can live this life of grace, and that God preserved his body after death as a mark of that grace which filled in him, and as proof of the living word of the God whom we serve.
To the Father, fall in adoration.
So I encourage all you listeners, especially those of you in New Zealand and in Oceania, to pray for Fr Garin's intercession and make this beautiful little site and devotion to Fr Garin more well known, because we need more sanctity in the world and we need more examples of great holiness. So spread the word about his life and testimony. Come and visit the chapel for yourselves. You can get the key from the parish office.
Holy Michael, never once conceding, lead us to